sure?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I call to order the regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council. It's September the 3rd, 2019 at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. And Mr. Donald Voss, could you lead us in the invocation, please?
You don't give me a chance to sit down right now.
Okay. Amen. Father, we just thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. We just thank you for the city council and those that work so hard to try to make such important improvements in our community. We just ask for your continued blessing. Lord, we pray for Keith's family in Rockport DMT that lost his life. We just ask, Father, for his personal family and also his first responder family. We just ask God that you would comfort and strengthen them. I pray your blessing on this meeting, give direction, guidance, and wisdom. We ask, Father, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we're gonna go to, it says House Bill 2840 approved by the 86th Legislature states that governmental bodies shall allow each member of the public who desires to address the body regarding an item on the agenda may do so after, before, or during consideration of the item. Citizens who wish to speak on an agenda item will have an opportunity to address the body before the item is discussed and will be given a 3-minute time limit to make their comments. So now we're going to go to presentation and proclamations, and if the public has any comments on it, it's an update by Benji Telly, Denmark, structure regarding water tower.
I'm actually not Benji Talley. I'm Larry Limer. I met y'all last week, and Graham, I don't think you were here, so I'm filling in for Benji. I'm the project manager on the job, so I'm their main point of contact. So you'll see me every month.
Okay.
As far as the work so far, we actually completed the tank foundation on Friday. We did some backfill material this morning, and our pedestal crew's on site. So for the schedule we gave, the 9/3 start date, is we're still on track. So other than that, our tank crew moves in towards the end of the month, end of September, and our paint crew will move in towards the end of October. So that's why we're also going to talk about the logo today, because that work's coming up pretty quick. So we have to make a decision on what we're going to do. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, now we have an update by Eric Villarreal, LNV engineer regarding water tower. And if there's any public that wants to give a comment.
Mayor, Council, Eric Villarreal with LNV. Don't have much to add now that we're under construction. It's being handled by Landmark. We are consistently communicating together and with city staff since we were last here to update y'all. We've had two meetings with city staff to go over progress and schedule. Been reviewing submittals and pay estimates, and again, now that construction's underway, we've got a construction observation person from our end who goes out regularly, and I as well go out regularly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to the consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this item unless a council member so requests. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I make a motion to approve the consent agendas for special meeting of July 9th, regular meeting of July 15th, special meetings of July 22nd, and workshop meeting of July 25th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would also like to note that I was not here at the July 25th workshop meeting.
Also, there was
yeah.
one on July the 15th that was not here, so.
I wasn't here the 26th.
Yes, ma'am.
Same here, I wasn't here the 26th.
I was not here for one of those. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay, so on the ones that you were absent, you were staying.
Don't remember.
I was here.
July, I don't remember which one it was.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna open up the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh.
before we do that, do you
Yes,
want to
sir,
go to the
second.
logos first?
Oh, yeah, I forgot, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have a motion, we have a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
second. Now we need to
All
vote.
in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There we go.
Okay, now, we're gonna go to the city manager to consider an act on selecting a city logo for the new water tower.
Let me kick it off, and then I'm going to ask Larry to come up and give you additional details. You have pictures of the renderings, the latest renderings. The first set of renderings were looked at the last work session, and you came up with some excellent ideas. Those ideas very specifically have been incorporated with the latest set of renderings that you have. I was reminded also that it's almost identical to what one of you has already presented and passed on to me, and I passed that on to Landmark, and I think that was you, Carrie, who came up with those ideas. I sent you an email, all of you an email, indicating that with this latest set of design, if you choose one of those or some variation of those, the cost estimate is higher than the 10,000 that's in the agreement, and I think you may want to discuss that also. But for now, would also like to point out that time is of the essence right now, and you know that very well. They need to get started on that because they're going to be getting very close to the time that they need to start elevating that the tank upward. But they need to get the design on first. So Larry, if you'll come forward and talk about the design itself, and they're on the $10,000 issue, not to exceed, and you indicated there may be some cost above that. I've not heard what that final cost is. I trust you'll have that, and the council may want to ask about that also. But just kind of an overview on this latest round of renderings, if you have any comments on those.
Sure, well, we don't have the final cost yet, but what we wanted to note is the first three proposals that we did, those were close to your $10,000 range. The ones here that are now, they have more of a shading effect, and that just costs more. You have multiple colors that you're trying to put next to adjacent colors, and you can't put those on the same day. So it's just additional costs with those. So hopefully I'll have Gary some costs
So it's not the
tomorrow.
design then, it's the actual application, is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
It's additional colors and
Okay.
application of the coatings to the tank.
So the ones with the actual fish, red fish, those would be more.
Yeah, because like on the sun, I don't know if y'all have a copy of them.
Right,
here.
yeah.
They do, they have
Kind of
copies.
shading in colors, and to try to do
Right.
that, it's more of
I
an artist
understand.
touch
Okay.
than just painting a single color.
Correct. So the one that's just red and black,
The outline one.
the outline one,
Yeah, but see, so like the orange and the yellow, you're
Yeah,
trying to fade
okay.
that in, even the blue, that's on both of them.
right, I get all that, okay.
So,
So the red fishtail, click on that one.
that's gonna be a lot closer to
Closer,
$10,000,
'cause it's-
but you're still trying to fade that red, so there's a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
We want y'all to be happy with what's on the tank. I don't wanna rush you, but again, at the same time, you want the water in the tank, so we have to get there.
Do we need that fade?
No, don't have to have
We
the
really need
fade,
that fade.
You need a what?
The fade on the
just the
page.
fade.
Can you go back to that?
The first one?
The one we looked at, just looked at.
The red
that
fish
one.
tail.
See how it's got the fade on
It's
the
titled.
pass, where it's, you got, the,
And what's also better on this was you have the block lettering for
Yeah.
where they buy it every day. When you have that cursive, it's gonna be
It's
real
hard to
hard to
read.
see.
It's hard to
Yeah.
read.
Right.
that's our number one billboard.
Yeah, that would look really good up on top. I mean, it's big, it's bold,
Right.
it's pronounced, so.
I have a question. Does, any of the other water towers put like Texas next to it? Like the skate? I
Yeah.
just kinda wondering.
Some,
I know we're in Texas, but people that, you know, they see it on Facebook or something, they'll see Aransas Pass, you know.
well, we could put a TX, obviously the more you put, the longer it gets.
Just kinda
the
wondering
letters
if any
get
other
smaller.
towers have,
Yeah, so, I mean, you'll have like a Georgetown, Texas, or it just depends on the tank size and
Okay.
what you want. We're trying to provide some options for you, but really I'm guessing on what y'all actually wanna see. so.
I like that one better. No, the other one, the first one.
So do
First
we,
one.
which,
The first one, that's the first one.
It is?
You want that one
The
or
second one.
that one?
That one.
I think that one's gonna look the best, because again, it's big, bold, it's pronounced, you can see
It's
what it is.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
It's simple.
You know, if it was down here at eye level, maybe you go with one of the other ones you can see, but, I mean, that's gonna stand out the best.
I
Right.
agree.
Oh,
What I really liked was that pelican in the blue, I know that wasn't one of y'all's shows, but that's kind of what you wanna see on a tank, because it's big and pronounced. So this is probably your second best option.
Is it possible, maybe the council will disagree with this, but is it possible where they bite every day to make that a little bit larger? I'm afraid that may not be visible from a distance, or am I wrong on that?
So what we like to show is that tank on the side there,
Mhm.
that's actually a kind of a rendering of what you can see at a distance away. So we could
Oh,
increase
okay.
that some. That's just kind of scaled to make everything match, but we could increase it.
That's just me. I don't know if the council agrees with that or not.
If this is what you wanted to do, we could maybe do another one or two, increasing the size and let you look at it. We could provide that as an option. The cost doesn't go up much if you increase those letters from 18 to 22 or something. Because again, it's not much more paint. You're just moving your brush a little farther.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Is there a preference then? That, what
I
we're looking
like
at
this
now?
one.
I like the one with the outline of the redfish, but it's fine. I sent all three of them, so I guess I like all three of them.
So I think we're hearing that the one that's on the screen right now is the preference at least of the majority of you. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Good.
I think that's the one that's gonna look best, even though I
Yeah.
like the one with all the colors, but with the cost and everything.
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't want
this
the
is gonna be
cost.
perfect.
Okay.
When it gets too jumbos there, you just.
It's too
You're not gonna
busy.
see it anyway.
It gets too
Yep.
busy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got
I
you.
think you have your direction. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Motion.
Alrighty. Do we have to?
That's good, thank you.
Yeah. Make a motion on that one
Well,
and add the TX.
I don't know, do we need the TX? I don't think we do.
I don't
but
think we need it.
What's that?
Add the TX. I'm not sure that we do.
It's up to you.
Somebody make a motion.
Okay, well, I make a motion, we approve the water tower logo with the red and white logo with the redfish tail, which says Ranges Pass, where they bite every day.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I say no.
You didn't like it?
She wants a TX.
She wants the TX.
Oh, she wants the TX. Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
That's it, you got your direction.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I'm gonna open up the first public hearing on the 2019 tax year property tax rate of .799194. The second public hearing is scheduled for September 9th, 2019. Any comments from the public? Well, I declare the first public hearing on the 2019 tax year property tax rate of .799194. And the second public hearing is scheduled for September 9, 2019 at 6:13. Now, I want to open up the public hearing on the Aransas Pass Crime Control and Prevention District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020.
The only thing we can add to that, and I'm sure the chief will add to it, is that that's a unanimous vote by the Crime and Control Board and Prevention Board. And you have the numbers in front of you, budgeted $3,500, for example, for auditing services, and it's up on the screen also, 100 for banking fees, 200 for insurance, 1,251, 1,251,400 to supplement the police department budget, and 5,000 for the fire department, and 20,000 for code enforcement demolition cost. So that's a quick thumbnail sketch of what's in there. And again, that was a unanimous vote by the board. I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, that went up substantially, just so you know, because they're going to cover some remodel and expansion of dispatch, animal control facility. They're giving us monies for that. They're also giving us an emergency management trailer, and some of these items we kind of had to lean heavily on because we had to adjust the budget. As you guys know, the previous desires of all the department heads were just too heavy. So the crime board is really stepping up. We're very appreciative for that effort.
Any comments from the public? Any other comments? What? No. Okay, I declare the public hearing closed on the Aransas Pass Crime Control and Prevention District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. Now, we're gonna go to consider and act on approving resolution 2019-922, adopting the Aransas Pass.
We have to vote on the other one.
No,
No, this is the one we
this is
voted
the
on.
one we
You're
voted
right.
on.
Okay.
On number
Oh,
one.
okay.
I closed those two, now we're gonna do
Yeah.
on that one.
Okay.
Okay, consider an act on approving resolution 2019-922,
Right.
adopting the Aransas Pass Crime Control and Prevention District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. Yep, is there anybody in the public that wants to make a comment on it? Okay,
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for the Aransas Pass Crime Control and Prevention District.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now, we're gonna open up the public hearing on the Aransas Pass Municipal Development District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020.
This also was passed unanimously. I don't know if the finance director has any additional comments on it. Budgeted again, $3,500 for auditing, $25,000 for capital, $125,000 for building maintenance, $558,063 for debt service, and $260,000 for civic center deficit. And the board met on August 20th, and again, they voted unanimously to approve the budget, recommend approval to this body for approval of the budget.
Any public comments? Well, I declare the public hearing on the Aransas Pass Municipal Development District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. And now we're gonna go to consider an act on resolution number 2019-923, adopting the Aransas Pass Municipal Development District budget for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. And is there anybody in the public that would like to comment before we act on this?
Okay, well, I make a motion to approve the resolution number 2019-923 for the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for the Aransas Pass Municipal Development District.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Gary, 7-2.
Yes. Wait till this comes up. Mr. Mayor and Council, before you is consider an act on issuance of a request for proposals for repairs to Civic Center audio visual system and the electrical system. This is something that, to be frank with you, we did not want to wait on FEMA. We could be here a year from now, in this case and in the item that follows this also. There's a fear we'd be here a year from now and FEMA still would not have approved what they need to approve, including insurance issues and some other issues that, because of the bureaucracy, understandably so, the bureaucracy they have to go through, it slows up the process. Staff said, let's move forward. Right now, the Civic Center is being held up because as far as the activities that they would like to have there, they can't because of the audiovisual, because of the electrical system, because of the HVAC. All of those issues need to be addressed immediately. We have a grant for the HVAC part of this. What we want to do is bring this to you. What we are doing, staff is doing, is bringing this to you to allow us for requests for proposals for repairs to the audio-visual system and the electrical, that's what's before you at this point. again, we're just getting frustrated with waiting, and we can't wait any longer. Now, when FEMA comes through, then those dollars will be there, I'm assuming. And we're assuming they will come through. If they don't come through, we certainly made a wise decision of moving forward. So we have the funding to cover this, and we're hoping FEMA does come through. On the HVAC part of this, which you'll see later, there is a grant to cover that from our friends at Rebuild, the Rebuild Fund. But that's the reason it's before you at this point. We want to move forward so we don't hold up the Civic Center any longer on these very important items. We're asking you to consider the issuance of the RFP for repairs to these items.
I'm sorry that Eric Villarreal left, because one of the issues that we talked about was their completion date of 2021, which is 2 years and 3 months.
Yeah, that's the next
Yeah,
one.
he wouldn't know.
Oh, that's the next one. I'm just one ahead of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wouldn't know anyway.
This was already, this was already got.
He's not the engineer who deals with that.
No, this is
Yeah,
different.
okay.
Well, I make the motion to approve the city to go out for RFPs to repair the Civic Center audiovisual systems and electrical.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, now
What?
Okay, now
Roxanne's-
this is the one
This
that's.
is
Okay,
This is the one.
now, the one that you're
This is the
biting at the
one.
bit to comment on. Task Order 14, let that come
Do you wanna say
up.
something?
This is for L&V.
She wants to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you wanna say something?
Maybe I got confused a little bit, but I heard you bring up an issue on the completion date,
Yes.
and then you wanting to speak to Eric Vidal. Eric Vidal is not the engineer on this contract. L&V is, but it's
L&V is.
Craig that works on it.
Yes.
But don't get that confused with your request regarding the completion date be sooner rather than later. The contract still provides for the completion date of the services for December 2021. And I believe you were wanting to talk about changing that date to be sooner.
So who would we talk to, because it,
Well, you just
L&V is-
approved to move forward on the contract with
Right.
the completion date of December 2021.
okay.
No, we haven't.
That's
No,
why
we
I
haven't.
was.
No, we hadn't voted on
because
that
that's
yet.
where I got confused
There's
at.
it's two different items.
Two different items.
That is correct.
I'm
HVAC is
confused
set.
now.
Well, that's where I got confused, exactly. We
You're
have it
correct.
broken down in two items.
It's two different items.
No, it's two
It's
different
two different
items.
items, you're correct.
This is the supporting documents for where they are right now, is issuing task order 14, and this is the date that he's having issues with.
What agenda item is that?
This is.
7-2 and 7-3.
7-3.
Okay.
Same thing, Roxanne.
Thank you.
So this next item, if I may, this next item is what we anticipate some discussion on. Let me give you some additional background on this. This includes the HVAC, the electrical and audio video repairs, and it allows, if you agree, L&V to do the work necessary to take this out to bid. We have to go to bid on this. We have no choice. It's over $50,000. We had an assessment. It's not our guess. We didn't pull that number out of the air. That's based on an assessment of what this would cost. So we have to go out to bid, and when you have to go out to bid, you have to have the specs, you have to have all of that. That's what that money is for, the $39,550, if I have that number correct. That's what's before you at this time. The argument I used earlier is still relevant here. The point that Jan and the mayor and some of you made as far as the earlier completion date is a valid point. And we will work, depending on what you want to do here. But if you want to move forward with it, we will say the council demanded that it be an earlier date, and then we will see if we can move it up a year, something of that sort. The completion date, as evidenced here, as stated here, is unacceptable. Fernando, I didn't give you a warning on me asking you about this, but do you see a reason they cannot be earlier, or is that a reasonable date, that 2021?
No, that's too long.
Okay. We will work to get a quicker date for you. So those of you who brought that up, thank you. That's a good point, and we will work on that. So that's a quick thumbnail sketch of why we need to do this, why we do have to have an engineering company do the specs, why we do have to go out to bid. All that's mandatory. And in fact, on top of that, Rebuild, who's paying for the HVAC part of that, is saying we have to also. They're requiring us to use our purchasing policy before they're going to give us the grant. So all of those factors stirred in together, that's what is before you at this point.
What would be a logical timeframe?
2020 for sure.
Okay, so am I reading this correct, that this is the, December 2021 is for them to do the drawing and everything else, or is that everything?
That's completion of the product,
Yeah,
right?
that's just to put it out for bid.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, I
We cannot-
understand it just to put it out to bid,
Yeah.
2021.
We cannot wait that long. It's got to be,
That's not completion of
No.
all the work of the repairs.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
we agree.
That's
We're
what I said.
Bad enough, we're
The
losing
design and
39.
bidding should be completed by this December.
Yes.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're
And
probably,
then open bids in January and start construction.
this
and
might
then-
be a typo on their part.
Yeah.
That's much better right there.
Yeah, this
Yeah, that
December,
makes
yeah, in a
sense.
few months,
December
absolutely.
2019.
Absolutely,
We agree.
yeah, and be awarded, bid on, awarded, and the project done by summer,
Yes.
We agree.
yeah.
We'll call a meeting with them by
That's next
phone so
year.
they don't have to come
Yeah,
here
just
and
in
charge
2020.
us.
June of
and-
2020.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Completion of the job, everything, June 2020.
Can you make note of that, Mary, and I'll take that to the meeting then? Okay. Don't add that last part.
Yeah.
No.
Don't say if possible.
Oh, yeah, no,
Scratch it.
yes, okay, don't say that.
Okay, fine. That's an excellent point. We'll follow up on that.
Oh, which one are we on?
7-2, 7-3.
7-3.
I'll make a motion to approve, task order 14 with L&B for HVAC, electrical, audio, video repairs at the Aransas Pass Civic Center in the amount of $39,500, and to change the, I'm not looking at it, change
And
the
completion date.
date, completion date
Correct.
to for these services to December of 2019,
Of these services, yes.
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 right?
Okay.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm lost here. Bear with me 1 second here. There we are. This, and I'll need Roxanne's involvement with this. I'm sorry.
7.4, okay. Presentation, discussion, and action, if any, approving a resolution to extend the period to provide full municipal services to the Sherwood Forest in area of land annexed pursuant to the city ordinance 2016-4136 for no later than 4.5 years after effective date of annexation due to damage caused by Hurricane Harvey, which was beyond the direct control of the city.
Should I go ahead? Okay. Put together a PowerPoint to make several points here, powerfully. This is pointing out the city services for Sherwood Forest. That's a quick glance at the ordinance that this council approved back in January of 2016. Sanitary sewer service, the annexation ordinance for this service area reads as follows. What was approved back in 16 reads as follows. Sanitary service, utility service to be provided after annexation, sanitary sewer to be provided after annexation. In the near term, and again, this is quoting exactly, there will be no change in methods of disposal of domestic wastewater in this area. Future capital improvement plans do, however, include the extension of conventional sanitary sewer collection systems to service this area. That's exactly what we are doing. Soon after annexation of the city of Aransas Pass applied for and received a grant for 2 areas within this region, both of them about approximately $1 million community development block grant for sewer service. The project currently is in final stages of design. It's very close to being completed as we talk. Moving along. And here's the timeline for the sanitary sewer. Design completion, we're hours away from the design completion. Bid advertisement September 18th, and that will be until the 25th. And bid opening October 3rd, construction start October 21st, construction completion April 21st. And Eric, who was here, was working on this, and he gave us that timeline. So that's from the engineer. There is a picture of one of the two projects. There's a picture of the other project as produced by Fernando, and gives you an overview of where the lines are going. The annexation ordinance in the case of water, for this service area reads as follows. Again, it was taken from the ordinance that was approved in 16. Water utility service to be provided after annexation. Water utility service to this area after annexation will continue to be provided by the city. Utility rates, however, will be based on lower inside city limits customer classification as opposed to the more expensive outside city limits customer classification. And we did that. Following annexation, water customers inside the newly annexed area began receiving the lower inside city limits customer water rates. We did that. We accomplished that. Okay, roads. The annexation ordinance for this service area reads as follows. Street maintenance services to be provided after annexation. After annexation, street maintenance service will be provided directly by the city of Aransas Pass. All streets within the area proposed for annexation are currently paved. That's from the ordinance in 2016. And since the annexation of Sherwood Forest in the area, the city has repaired potholes, worked on drainage ditches next to city-maintained streets. The city streets are now monitored by city staff, as all city streets are. This next one floored me, and I want to thank the chief for getting this information to us very quickly and very comprehensively. The annexation ordinance for this service area reads as follows. Law enforcement services to be provided after annexation. Law enforcement services will be provided by the City of Aransas Pass Police Department. Levels of service are expected to increase due to the closer proximity of resources. Beginning with the annexation date of January 4th, when the ordinance was passed, until just a few days ago, the Aransas Pass Police Department has received a total of 1,224 calls for service. 1,224. We've been very active with city services to that area as it relates to public safety. This can be broken down into violent crime, 11, property crime, 15, disturbances, 18, criminal mischief, 8, misdemeanor assaults, 19, other miscellaneous calls for service, 1,151, for a total of 1,224. These calls focus on the streets of Sherwood Forest, or you can read it on the streets right in that immediate area. A lot of activity with public safety out there. Fire and EMS, the annexation ordinance for the service area reads as follows. Fire response services to be provided after annexation. Fire response services will be primarily provided by the city fire department with assistance provided as necessary through mutual aid agreements with the City of Ingleside Volunteer Fire Department. Levels of service are not expected to change significantly. The Aransas Pass Fire Department has responded to 5 calls in the Sherwood Forest area since annexation. These calls range from structure fires, car fires, brush fires, and EMS. Solid waste, the annexation ordinance for this area reads as follows. Solid waste disposal services to be provided after annexation. Again, this is from the ordinance. After annexation, solid waste disposal services will be provided through the City of Aransas Pass's third-party contract service provider. At this date, it's Absolute Waste. When this was written, it was not Absolute Waste, it was Republic. Customer rates will typically be less for services provided through the city's contract compared to the existing individually contracted services. The City of Aransas Pass also provides solid waste transfer station services for large or bulky items for city residents. We still do that. As of 8/30/19, that should be in black, I'm sorry, not red. As 8/30/19, 42 residents in Sherwood Forest area are subscribing to the Absolute Waste services. That comes from Absolute Waste themselves. That's it. So I want to give you an overview of what's been happening out there. We have been involved with that. And in the case of sewer, we are nearly complete with the design. And the only reason it hasn't happened sooner, and as stated in the introduction to this particular piece, is because of Harvey. We would have had it done sooner. Harvey slowed us up. But still yet, we're going to be taking some action to still have it within the agreeable time period, which Roxanne will talk about, and as far as an extension goes, in just a few moments. So just want to give you the overview of what's been happening out there.
Thank you. I just want to let you know that it's good to know what your city is doing in that annexed area. I think some of the information provided might be slightly alarming, particularly the number of public safety calls we have. Just to clarify though, City Manager Gary Edwards, we don't have any parks or any publicly owned facilities out in that area right now, is that correct?
That's correct.
So we are supposed to provide full municipal services to that area within 2.5 years of the annexation date. We obviously have provided a lot of services, almost all of them except for wastewater. Under statute, under the Texas Local Government Code, particularly section 43.056B, allows for there to be an extension of providing that wastewater services if there is some reason that were circumstances beyond the control of the municipality to have them sooner. And so this is a discussion for the council and for the citizens who wish to speak about wastewater is coming. We have been diligently working. Harvey, which was beyond our control, slowed the city down. As you'll know, there was significant destruction to our city during that time period. And so we're asking the city council by resolution to agree to provide us this scheduled timeline to provide that wastewater services as we continue to provide all the other services as promised.
To make a motion.
Mayor, is there any comments from the citizens?
Is there any comments from the public? No. So, we need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution to extend the period to provide full municipal services to the Sherwood Forest, an area of land annex pursuant to the city ordinance 2016-4136 for no later than 4.5 years from after the effective date of the annexation date due to damage caused by Hurricane Harvey.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we go to consider an act on approving resolution number 2019-924, establishing a city council administrative committee.
Reason for this, and we talked about it during the work session, is you need to appoint some of your members, no more than two, to serve in this committee, to work as a liaison between you and the appointed positions. And it'll be a handy tool to have during evaluations, as an example. So that's the whole purpose for it, if you agree.
So that committee would be just made of 2 of the elected officials?
Of you folks, one,
Of us.
yes.
Of us.
Only, not citizens, you.
Yeah, elected, that's it.
Elected, yes.
Okay.
Public comments. Is there any public comments?
Yeah, I'm Jason Knight, live 461 South 11th. I just had a comment about this committee. It's already part of the charter that the department head you're talking about work at the pleasure of the council. So I just don't see how 2 people, you're basically taking 3 of the council out of it and put 2 on there. So I think if you're gonna have a committee, every one of them should be on it because that's how it is right now in the charter. That's all I have.
Favor of the council.
Can we respond to that, or?
Well, as we have pointed out, this is simply a liaison. It has no voting power or anything of that sort. It's simply a liaison.
I think that's important to note for the citizens, if I may, Mayor.
Sure.
I think the citizen brings up a very important point. The resolution specifically reads that this committee of 2 will serve as a liaison between the city council and the city manager, the city attorney, the municipal court judge, and the city secretary on issues that arise with appointed positions and to provide insight during the evaluation process. As the city manager said, there's no appointment power, there's no voting power, there's no power. It's just that they want to have two people who can serve as liaisons when any kind of evaluation issues or appointment issues come up. But no power. The governing body is the power. Does that help?
Yeah, it helps a little bit.
If you have any other comments, I'll leave that to the mayor.
I think it's a good idea because, as you know, we were reviewing someone's employment and we didn't have any knowledge or of that person that we were reviewing. So if you have a liaison that is gonna be working with the person that you're gonna review, or if there's a problem, I think that's important for the council to know before we get here and vote on something that we're not familiar with.
Is this something that's done in other towns? Okay.
Yes. I don't think it's done, if I may, Mr. Mayor, I don't think it's done all that often, quite frankly, but it is done. It's usually in a larger city where it's done, but it's done for the specific purpose we're referring to here.
Okay.
Have a motion.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-924, establishing a
Five.
city. What?
925.
Are we on 5?
No, you're right.
We're on 4.
924.
Yeah, Jan drove it off on me.
Establishing a city council administrative committee.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, we're gonna go to consider and act on approving resolution number 2019-925, designating a council member.
Gary, do we want for them to designate 2 council members?
Yes, we need, if you could take this time, if you would, if you want to do it at a separate time, that's fine, but if you could take this time to select 2 of your membership
Janet
to
and
serve
Vicky.
on the committee.
Oh, perfect.
What was that?
Janet?
You wanted to be-
No,
Jan and Vicky.
no, because I'm on the island all
Who
the
is it?
time. It's hard for me to get into town.
I win the
Letting
bet.
Jeff over here.
I win the bet.
You better need that in the form of a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Jan
Mike and
Moore.
Jeff? I mean,
Jan Moore and Vicky Abrego for the City Council Administrative Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we abstain because our names?
You can abstain.
Abstain.
I abstain.
It's not gonna do you any good. You're
I
still
know.
on it.
Okay, now we're gonna go to consider and act on approving resolution number 2019-925, designating a council member liaison on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
This is done quite frequently, where a member of the elected body, the council, serves as liaison. In some cities, now we have a charter, so it would not be allowed here. Some cities allow them to be voting members. This is not the case in this particular instance. It's another liaison issue where planning and zoning, all committees are important, but they deal with issues that are constantly coming to you. And to have an elected body, an elected person serving on that body can bring back information as far as discussions that occur at the podium, things that may not get to you under normal circumstances, that staff may overlook. That liaison can also, when questions, and I've heard it many times, come up, well, what does the council think of this? You can't speak for the entire council, but you give an idea of some of the discussions that have occurred. It's that opening of communication between those two very important bodies. The city council, the ruling body, and the planning and zoning, a very important land use organization within the city. Again, it's liaison. This person's liaison has no voting power, but is a communication tool between the two bodies.
Okay, any comments from the public?
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-925, designating a council member liaison on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And is it, Mary, is it appropriate for them to pick someone at this point? Yes.
Congratulations, Carrie.
Oh, jeez. Okey dokey then.
Make a motion.
I make a motion, we put Carrie on the Planning and Zoning Liaison Board.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I abstain.
I think next committee, we need to appoint two gentlemen, one of the two gentlemen.
Exactly.
Why?
What else do we have here?
Why? Okay, now we're gonna go to finance. Consider an act on awarding request for proposal for bank depository.
Because Sandra has been so busy with the Census Committee today, she's asked that I at least kick this off. This is very simple. There was one bid on this for the depository services from our bank, Prosperity, and it's for 3 years and then an additional 2 years continuation if it's decided to go that direction. And again, there was one bid on this, and this is for the depository services. Anything to add to
Yeah,
that?
that was it. That was the only bank that responded to our RFP, and we're currently using Prosperity. We've had very good customer service from them, and we would like for you to approve their 3-year
You can
contract.
lower their fees.
Excuse me?
Is there any fees that they're
It's
charging?
right now, we're at a zero-based fee
And it's
with
still
them.
that same?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's what they've submitted, but we can switch in case, interest rates get better to a compensating balance that'll offset the fees, but right now we are at zero-based.
Any comments from the public?
Okay, I make a motion to approve Prosperity Bank as our depository contract for 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, is there any city council staff announcements?
I have a couple that are not on the agenda that have come up. This work session, we're going to schedule for the 23rd. That'll be a 5:30 p.m. Work session. Just want to remind you of the special meeting with the public hearing on the tax rate on the 9th. And then what was the other item here? Can't read my writing. What was the other item, Mary? I'm sorry.
On September 9th, we have the second public hearing on the tax rate and then the first public hearing on the operating budget.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's correct. And then want to point out, we're getting very active with the Census Committee. We had people from the Census here today. We were talking about it earlier. And it's important that the word get out as far as, so that we are able to garner all of the people who are in the community, be able to count them, garner those that count, so that we know precisely how many people are in our community. That helps with grants, like CDBG, for example. So it's very important that we have an accurate count. This committee that's right now made up of city folk that you appointed, we'll be bringing citizens in on that also. And we're simply trying to get the word out that it's important to respond to the census. You'll be hearing more about that. It's being wonderfully led by Sandra Garcia, who is a real taskmaster for everyone. But she's doing a very good job, and we're moving forward. You'll be hearing more about it as time progresses. So,
Quick question, the workshop
Sure.
for the city, is it at 5:30?
I'm sorry?
On the 23rd? The workshop for the city on the 23rd?
5:30, yes. Unless you want to have it at a different time, but that's normally what we're.
4:30 is good.
How about 1 o'clock?
Now, we're gonna go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matter that are not scheduled on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding and discussing your comments. The law authorizes the following: make a statement of factual information, recite existing policy, advise that this subject may be placed on the agenda for a subsequent meeting.
My name's Martha Hoblitzel, and I wish you would amend your statement about what citizens who wish to make comments have to give you. For example, they do not have to give you their address. We sign in, it's there. This may be recorded and may be put out on social media. We don't need to stand here and give our address. And I think it's against Texas law.
Anybody else? Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session. Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act, to meet with his attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the city council under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act relating to City of Aransas Pass versus J.M. Davidson Ltd., RLI Insurance Company, and Naismith Engineering, cause number S-14-6278-CV-C in the 343rd Judicial District Court in San Patricio County, Texas. Association Against Annexation Abuse versus the City of Aransas Pass, cause number 8-19-0169-CV-B in the 156th District Court of Aransas County, Texas. Said association against annexation abuse, legally represented by Deborah Earl, attorney, and also represented by Rockport Terminals LLC. Number 3, update on House Bill 2840. Number 4, water rate study. Number 5, building permits and other city issue permits. And number 6, environmental issues. And it is 6:52. we're gonna reconvene in open session. To consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in executive session, and it is 8:08.
No action necessary.
Famous words.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Close that.